It hurts. It burns like liquid fire, directly in the center of your chest. It leaves you completely breathless, frozen in the middle of a room that suddenly feels entirely too empty. She has traded you. She chose another man. This is a direct, brutal, and deeply humiliating blow to your masculine pride. And right now, it is eating your mind alive. Your brain does not stop, not for a single second. You toss and turn in your bed, staring at the ceiling, searching for answers to a question that tortures your soul during every single hour of insomnia. What does he have that I don't? You feel the agonizing humiliation of imagining her smiling with him, giving him her attention, and replying to his messages in a fraction of a second with the same excitement she once saved for you. Meanwhile, you are left behind, cast aside like a disposable option. Now, observe the ultimate contrast. The average man in this scenario crumbles and destroys his dignity. But the magnetic man, the man of steel, uses this exact moment to trigger a psychological shockwave that will shatter her reality forever. Before we dive into the raw, aggressive psychology of how to execute this, do not let yourself slide deeper into the dark. Subscribe to Dark Frame right now and hit the like button. By subscribing, you are deciding to step out of the weakness and join an elite brotherhood of men who build their value from absolute zero. Do it now. Let's reclaim your power. I get it, brother. I know the cold sweat. I know the heavy, suffocating silence of a phone that no longer rings. This is not weakness. It is a biological, psychological shock. Your mind is experiencing severe validation withdrawal, and it feels like you are drowning. But hear me closely, you are not dead. Today, I am going to reveal the raw, aggressive, and brutal truth of your situation. I am not going to give you cheap dating tricks, toxic mind games, or desperate manipulation tactics. Today, you will learn the exact stoic principles and psychological laws of high-value self-mastery. These principles will completely flip the power dynamic and force her to feel the absolute crushing weight of her mistake. Let's begin. You must understand a fundamental law of female psychology. The moment a woman decides to leave you for another man, her mind has already written a script. In her mental movie, she is the highly coveted prize, and you are the desperate loser left behind to mourn her absence. Her evolutionary instinct actively expects a reaction from you. She is waiting for the drama, the explosive jealousy, the angry texts, and the humiliating pleas. She needs that reaction because your pain validates her high value in the dating market. Your desperation proves she has absolute, unquestionable power over your emotional state, giving her the perfect, comfortable closure to know she holds you completely under her thumb. Now, look at the average guy. He acts completely on impulse. He calls her, demands explanations, and begs for one last talk. He sends long paragraphs of text explaining his pain. By doing this, he confirms her deepest, most destructive suspicion, that he is a weak, dependent man with zero options, and that her decision to replace him with the other guy was 100% correct. Do not be that guy. Your only response to her betrayal must be a freezing, absolute coldness and indifference so incredibly deep it feels superhuman. If she tells you she is seeing someone else, you do not yell or argue. You look her directly in the eyes with absolute stillness, nod calmly, and say, "Understood. I wish you the best," and nothing else. No trembling voice, no cheap sarcasm, and no visible resentment. This completely destroys her psychological blueprint. She was prepared for a dramatic war to inflate her ego, and instead, she slams face first into an impenetrable wall of ice that silently tells her that her departure does not alter your peace in the slightest. By refusing to react, you instantly invert the roles. She suddenly stops feeling like the prize and is forced to ask herself, did I actually mean anything to him? Was I ever really in control? That agonizing doubt is a silent psychological virus, and it will begin to tear her ego apart much sooner than you think. Careful, because this next step is where most men fail. The most foolish, self-destructive, and deeply humiliating mistake you can ever make is accepting her cowardly offer to stay friends. Do not fall for this trap. Let's be friends is nothing but a cheap emotional safety net. She wants to keep your attention, your support, and your validation for free while she gives her intimacy, her passion, and her physical self to another man. She wants the best of both worlds. Since she made a conscious choice to remove you from her romantic life, She must experience the full, brutal reality of that choice. And that means the total, immediate, and absolute loss of your existence. She does not get to keep your emotional warmth if she is unwilling to give you her loyalty. You must apply a violent, uncompromising zero-contact protocol. Disappear completely from her map. Do not view her stories. Do not reply to her casual texts, and block or restrict her on every single platform. The average guy stays available, watching her Instagram stories from a fake account and liking her posts, keeping himself in her background like a loyal, pathetic ghost. The magnetic man, however, becomes an absolute void. Silence is a heavy, suffocating force, and it becomes completely deafening once the cheap novelty of her new relationship begins to fade. When she looks for the strong, protective man who used to be just a phone call away and finds nothing but a cold, empty vacuum, panic sets in. When she realizes she can no longer access your energy, she is forced to confront the permanence of her loss. Your absence creates a luxury value that constant availability could never buy. Make your absence so real that she has no choice but to accept that she has lost you forever. Now, observe this next trap, the obsessive urge to spy on her new boyfriend's social media. Checking what car he drives, looking at how he dresses, and analyzing the photos they post together is a slow, toxic poison that eats away at your masculinity from the inside out. The moment you try to prove you are better than him, you lose. If you start posting fake, staged photos of yourself with other women or flexing expensive things just to get her attention, you are screaming to the world that you are deeply insecure. You are voluntarily lowering yourself to the level of a desperate competitor begging for a scrap of her validation. An elite, high-value man does not compete for a position that was already disrespected. If she chose to downgrade and step down to someone inferior, let her. Give her the complete, uninterrupted space to experience the cheap reality of her poor choice. You must withdraw from the race with a cold, terrifying elegance. Do not leave a single trace of jealousy or let anyone see even a spark of resentment. Your indifference must be so heavy, so solid, and so absolute that it actually scares her. Let them live their cheap, temporary fantasy. While they play their immature games, you must dedicate every single ounce of your energy to building your own empire. The average man tries to pull her back, while the magnetic man walks away, knowing his worth is non-negotiable. When you refuse to enter the competition, she realizes she has no power to make you jealous. The fantasy of her new relationship immediately loses its luster as she begins to compare his frantic, insecure energy to your silent, unbothered strength. She will realize with absolute horror that she traded solid gold for a piece of cheap plastic. The pain of rejection is not just a burden, it is one of the purest, most concentrated, and highly explosive sources of energy in the masculine universe. Yet, the average man wastes it by drowning it in alcohol, burying it in video games, or spending hours whining to friends who only validate his role as a helpless victim. You are going to be different, brother. You are going to take that raw, burning frustration and use it as nuclear fuel to forge an absolutely unstoppable version of yourself. This is where the real stoic work begins. You do not sit around waiting for the pain to fade. You drag yourself to the gym and destroy every single physical limit. You work twice as hard on your career, your business, and your financial freedom. You study, you read, and you train your mind to become an unbreakable fortress of discipline. Make your daily life so intensely productive, so focused, and so demanding that her memory naturally dissolves in the heat of your goals. Your destiny is entirely too massive to be put on hold for someone who did not have the capacity to appreciate your value. The average man begs for her to notice him, while the magnetic man builds a life so powerful that his silence speaks louder than any words ever could. Eventually, she will hear about you. She will see your physical transformation, hear about your financial success, and recognize the calm, unbothered, dangerous focus in your eyes. She will have to swallow the bitterest pill of all. She was the catalyst for your evolution, but she is completely banned from ever enjoying the man you became. Your success is the only elegant, devastating revenge. Listen to me very carefully because this is the ultimate test of your character. Sooner or later, the cheap excitement of her new relationship will run out. The flaws of the other man will become obvious. The reality of her downgrade will set in, and on that day, she will try to crawl back. She will send a casual, low-effort text at 2 in the morning, react to one of your old posts, or use some stupid manufactured excuse just to test if she still has access to your energy. This is the exact moment where the weak man completely collapses. He feels a rush of validation, opens the door immediately, and destroys every single ounce of respect he spent months building. He becomes her backup plan and her safety net. The magnetic man, the man with true, unyielding self-respect, keeps that iron gate welded shut forever without a single second of hesitation. If you allow a woman to return to your life after she actively chose another man over you, you are teaching her that your self-worth is negotiable. You are telling her that she can disrespect you, discard you, and still find a warm place in your arms whenever she gets bored. Never, under any circumstances, allow yourself to be anyone's second choice. If she discarded you once, she forfeited her right to your presence for the rest of her life. This brutal firmness, this absolute ability to say no to someone who betrayed your loyalty, is the ultimate badge of a high-value man. When she knocks on your door and meets a solid, cold, silent wall of steel, her ego is shattered beyond repair. She is forced to live with the permanent, suffocating realization that her own disloyalty and immaturity cost her the most valuable asset she ever had, and she can never ever get it back. Real attraction is not something you beg for, and it is not something you negotiate. It is a natural, inevitable consequence of the absolute respect you have for yourself. When you can look at rejection with a cold, unbothered smile, withdraw your presence without a single drop of dramatic theater, and focus with absolute obsessive discipline on building your own empire, you become completely indestructible. Become that man. Be the complete man who does not need anyone's permission or approval to walk through this world with absolute confidence. Do this, and watch how the entire game of attraction bends to your will. She will have to carry the heavy, silent weight of her mistake for the rest of her days, while you will be too busy conquering your future to ever look back. Thank you for standing tall with me today. If you are ready to stop chasing and start building your own power, subscribe to Dark Frame right now. Leave a strong like on this video to support this revolution of masculine self-mastery. Stay focused, keep your frame solid, and I will